Duckworth Show, brought to you by Alabama One. I am Kennedy Chase here with head coach Dana Duckworth. And coach, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about your past meet in Auburn. Talk about your team's performance. How are you feeling about it?
The highlight of the evening for sure was our beam team. Entire beam team from top to bottom went out there and was extremely aggressive. We really wanted to go into that meet expecting the expected. I told the ladies we have to embrace the chaos. We knew that it was going to be a real boisterous environment with a lot of fans and engagement and things, and it's the Iron Bowl of gymnastics, and so we went in there expecting the expected. The first half of the meet did not go the way we wanted it to go, and you have to just look at that and ask yourself why, and what lessons can you learn from that. At the same time, the way we finished strong, the exclamation point we put on this performance on balance beam, which is a crucial step in the process of our season, is really where the biggest win came from.
Well, let's take a deeper look into that first half of the meet, starting with our first rotation, which is bars. And we're going to start with Maddie Wallagora, who scored a 9.8.
So Maddie did a Jaeger right here. She caught a little awkward to the bar, which gave her a little challenge as she did her glide. So that's where her biggest deductions came from. But her handstands were on point for sure. The dismount is continuing to rise above the bar. You see her lift, twist, and land. That small little hop was a deduction. But overall, she truly maintained some composure in a very environment where there was a lot of things going on, a lot of distractions. And I thought she did a nice job in being able to get through that routine.
And next, we're going to move on to Cam Machado, who scored a 9.85 on bars.
Yes, and even Cameron, when you watch her, she normally really swings back and forth, and you saw her just muscling. Her leg separation from this angle is much more noticeable. I feel like we really just did bars tight, and we needed to let go and be free. And finally, we did get some landings, small little hop there. And those are those small things where we gave away tenths, what we really needed to get on the first event.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of focus, especially when you have such a loud environment like that. I know focus is really important.
And Lisa comes in and does a really good job, really trying to stay in the moment. Again, her form is impeccable. She goes from the high bar to low bar. Her legs are completely pinned together. You see her really swing. I kind of mentioned this before. She has a lot of fluidity in her movement. And of course, right here, the highlight is this full in to a perfect stuck landing, no feet movement, and just being able to reach over and be a little sassy was okay. I was all right with it.
And she scored a 9.925 on bars.
She did, and I think that she only continues to amaze me. Because of her shoulder, we have to train a little more limited for her just because we're trying to maintain and keep her healthy as possible. So I love that she is very productive and efficient with the time that she gets to train, and she's really doing a great job and really being a leader on that event week after week.
Well, we had a great start to the first rotation, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be talking about the second rotation, vault.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
Welcome back to the Dana Duckworth Show, brought to you by Alabama One. I am Kennedy Chase here with head coach Dana Duckworth. And coach, let's talk about the second rotation, vault. What were your expectations for the team going into the second rotation?
We warmed up like rock stars, and we wanted to go for the first time in program history to do and perform 6 10-0 start value vaults. And what that means is that each vault has a value of what it's worth, and we did it. We started off with Shallon Olson. She did one of the best vaults she's done of this season. I put her in that position because of her experience on the world stage, and she did a nice vault, probably one of her best. I mean, she really got an explosion off the table, boom, good position in the air, feet stick just perfectly, and you can see that excitement. She was pretty pleased with that vault. So she twists twice.
And she scored a 9.9 on vaults.
Yes, so Maddie Wallagora back in the vault lineup with the 1 off 1.5. So again, she took that step backwards, and that is a bigger deduction than actually doing a big vault and taking a step forward. So the judges were pretty strong, and they took the deductions that they could. And I think, again, Kari Doggett did a beautiful vault last week. She tried to repeat the stick. She was so focused on the stick. You see here that she did that small plie and then just couldn't catch it. So you're right here. She gets good height off the table. And then she's just a little short. Her shoulders are behind her hips. That's never going to work well. So you want to try to have the shoulders, the hips, and the feet all in alignment. At the end of the day, okay, I'm very proud of what we attempted. We could have played it safe. We could have gone for the fulls. We could have done that. But at the end of what we're trying to accomplish, which is be the best vault team in the country, we have to go for the big vaults. And we did it. And we warmed up really well. And I do believe that's only one step toward better vaults and a better score.
And I know we recently have been talking about progress with Team 48. Are you seeing that progress?
Absolutely. We are building the depth, which means not only do we have 6 athletes ready on every event, but we're building 8, 9, and 10. So that at any point, if we had to interchange somebody, there was the confidence of being there. So yes, the progress is being made, the mental toughness is there, and their discipline in and outside the gym is showing up.
Well, let's talk about floor a little bit. How challenging was it to perform these floor routines in Auburn with all that loud crowd?
It was quite an interesting experience, and I'm just going to talk about how beautiful our ladies handled this, especially our freshman Lily Hudson. Oh my goodness, this routine was exquisite. Every attention to detail, the toe point, the expression. Watch this pass right here. She does a 2.5 twist. And she nails it. Watch this. So you see the fans in the back and they're being annoying and they're in there. She sees it and she just says, watch me.
Competing like a veteran, like you said.
That's right, she sure did. And her double back right here, this is a little bit of a lower chest landing. I would like to have seen her a little higher than that. And she quieted those fans down for sure. Now you can see here that the gymnasties are in the background, really, I don't know if you want to call that mocking or making fun of Louisa. I think she's the most beautiful gymnast in the NCAA, so I was really proud of how she just maintained her composure, set up for this first pass, and a beautiful double pike, controlled landing, sells that pass just beautifully.
And she scored a 9.85
She did.
Floor, yes.
Sure, and I'll show you why she got the 9.85. She had a deduction right here. She kind of had the legs separated. She was struggling a little bit on that pass, and so it showed up right there. At the same time, Lexi Graver comes right in behind her, does a beautiful floor routine with the full in. She sold this performance. Really, Kennedy, this was one of the best performances in Lexi's just overall presentation. She really worked the crowd. She really worked the judges. She does this beautiful leap in this jump series right here. And then watch the way she lands this tumbling pass. She knows she's done a great double pike. She throws that head back and just really gets excited. And then right here, as they were having fun, she had fun with it too, and I just loved just basically taking it with a grain of salt and having fun and put an exclamation on floor as we walked into beam. So it was okay.
I loved it. And she's actually scored a 9.925, which you said that was one of her best performances you've ever seen from her.
The presentation aspect. Okay. The biggest deduction came from her first pass. Okay. Her fill-in had a little bit of leg separation and she normally lands a little taller. But again, those are things you're learning. At the end of, for me, I wanted the ladies to continue to stay fierce. I wanted them to be aggressive and just not hold back. And that's absolutely what they did going into the last 2 events.
I definitely saw the aggression and the fierceness, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be discussing the final rotation beam.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
Welcome back to the Dana Duckworth Show, brought to you by Alabama One. I'm Kennedy Chase here with head coach Dana Duckworth. And coach, we're getting into that final rotation. How imperative was this rotation for your team?
Finish strong, Kennedy. That was our absolute focus. We had nothing to lose. We needed to go out there and do the beam performance that we practice every day, and that's exactly how they did it.
Let's look at the strong finish, starting with Lexi Graver, who scored a 9.925.
Lexi has done a great job week after week. Her series right here continues to get more consistent. If you watch how she just attacks this leap pass, that's a really hard leap pass. A switch leap, she does a straddle 3/4, loses the sight on the beam and still nails it. Right here, she does a front toss. She has 2 versions of that skill, and so she did what she needed to do to basically not get a deduction, and right here she ends with a gainer full. So just a nice steady routine, and she was right in the middle of the pack there, and then really set up our next performer in Maddie Walagora.
Yes, and Maddie Walagora, she scored a 9.925 as well on beam.
Maddie was steady. I watch her smile between each move. She does small little balance checks, but really covered it so the judge really couldn't see that. Her jump series, a split jump, tuck jump, full, but here is that perfect dismount. That's what gave her that ability to score a 9.95 from one judge, a 9.9 from another, and really the only deduction came from the wobble on the side aerial and a little bit of amplitude on the series.
And you can see her excitement on her face. Next, we're going to talk about Lily Hudson, who scored a 9.925 as well.
I was really excited to see her as a freshman in this very tough environment just stay steady, stay true to who she is. She has a very difficult 3-trick series, a front aerial into a back handspring layout. She just does it with such grace. She does her leap pass, which is really something that she has the ability to do 2 different kinds, and she just chose what to do because she knew she got that triple series. And once again, a beautiful stuck landing. See how it puts the exclamation point on it?
Yes.
I do feel that the judges really do reward those athletes and gives them the benefit of the doubt when they nail that landing so solid.
I love how you say exclamation point. And now we're going to talk about Luisa Blanco, who scored a 9.975 on beam.
Luisa was stunning. She does a back handspring layout. She only did 1 on this particular routine. And when she does the 1 layout, it sets her up for this leap pass, a switch leap, switch half. Just done with such just confidence. I love it. And her double full was the best one she's done in competition so far. There wasn't a movement. I know she had a 9.975, but in my book, that is a 10.0. That was a gorgeous routine. It was flawless from top to bottom, and I was excited to see her end that and really our beam team do what they're capable of. I do believe it was one of our highest beam scores on the road in program history. All I know is that we got to continue that confidence. We got to continue that pace, and if we make progress, and what's interesting, think about the final thoughts on this meet. We have now scored over a 49.5 plus on 3 events. Vault is on its way. We're going to continue to get better there. So if you stay that course, that's a 198. And that's what we're trying to achieve because we have the talent, we have the athletes that can do it. We just got to keep disciplined, make sure our mindset stays strong, and they believe in themselves.
Well, I have no doubt that your team will achieve that goal, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking about beam just a little bit more with Dana's Tip of the Week.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
Welcome back to the Dana Duckworth Show, brought to you by Alabama One. I'm Kennedy Chase here with head coach Dana Duckworth. And coach, let's talk about your tip of the week. And your tip is things fans don't see on beam. Talk to us about that.
The first thing you don't see is what we call mental choreography. So every day the girls do what's called an MC. So they basically stand near the beam and it's called visualization. Some people stand at the end of the beam and they look at it and they do their visualization. Some go along the side of the beam. I let them pick whatever's best for them. But visualization is such a huge part of mental toughness and just being able to put yourself there. You also don't see the girls do what's called uphills. So a lot of the work we do over on the floor exercise is doing their skills up to a higher surface, so in order to make those skills have more amplitude. And then, of course, everyone has their own self-talk. And so the key for balance beam is everything is talking either a cue to that skill or something positive like I'm saying to myself, squeeze, or be soft, be firm, those things that every athlete does. So it's completely individualized and it's very big on visualization. So if you can see yourself doing it, and you can say it and speak it and move the body through it, you actually get more reps without pounding the body by doing those things. So I would say that's my tip of the week. And of course, if you have a 4x4 and you put it on the ground and you just walk on it, and the focus is key, you must stay in the moment. You must not get ahead of yourself. So be where your feet are, walk that plank, and try some flips.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely sounds a lot harder than it looks, right?
Yes, it's all about practice, drilling and rehearsing and continuing to do the numbers so that you feel confident, because the confidence comes from the preparation. So we do a lot of reps. Sometimes it's in a format of a routine. Sometimes it's stick 3 in a row or do 5. Sometimes it's stick 5 or do 10. And I know most athletes want to be efficient. So you use those types of assignments in order to build more confidence, put them in a pressure situation on a daily basis. And then when you get into an environment that's extremely intense and everything counts, you can really block out the noise, as in the love of the game, clear the mechanism, and stay focused in being where you need to be.
I love that word efficient that you use, but we're going to switch it up a little bit and stop talking about the meet and talk about your team. When we come back, we have a fun game coming up for you guys.
The Dana Duckworth Show is brought to you by Alabama One.
Welcome back to the Dana Duckworth Show, brought to you by Alabama One. I'm Kennedy Chase here with head coach Dana Duckworth. And coach, let's do this fun game. You have a fun team, so why not try to figure out some team superlatives? How about that? How's that sound? Yeah? Let's get started. Best chef.
Ella Burgess. She
Ella
even has
Burgess?
she even has Instagram. Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, next. Best dancer.
Oh, Sania Mitchell. Hands
yeah.
down, that girl can move.
I
She's
love
great.
her flow routine. All right. Best singer.
Lexi Graber sings all the time, but Sania Mitchell sings at all of our Christmas parties.
I think I saw that on your Instagram,
Oh yeah,
actually.
she's got a voice. She's got a voice, but Lexi sings all the time. But no, Sania hands down the best.
Okay. Next. Most contagious laugh.
Ella and Makari simultaneously. They giggle, and you can't stop. You can't help
I love
but giggle
that.
too.
I love that.
Yep.
Most creative.
Ooh, that's a tough one. From a creative standpoint, artistry, Luisa Blanco.
I can definitely see that. Most likely to be found studying.
Griffin James,
Oh, good.
Yep.
Griffin. Yep.
all the time.
Most likely to be on a reality TV show.
Oh, Makari Doggett might be the funniest person I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that after her mic'd up video.
Ooh.
Most likely to move out the country?
Well, Shallon is from Canada, but that probably doesn't count. I would say it would have been Alonza Clough last year. Ooh, this is challenging. Let me think. Corinne Banoggin, our
Yes.
freshman.
Your freshman?
for
Oh,
sure.
awesome.
Yes.
That's it. That's it for superlatives. That was pretty fun, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about you coming back to Coleman Coliseum. How excited is Team 48 to be back at home?
First of all, it's a tri-meet. What that means, there'll be 3 teams, and we'll all be rotating and competing at the same time. Secondly, it's capes and crowns. Thank you, Tuscaloosa Toyota. They have provided the awesome, so when the first 250 capes and 250 crowns will be brought to you by Toyota, and I'm so grateful for that sponsorship because it just makes it really fun. And then the third piece is progress. Alabama Gymnastics just needs to continue on the right track, and that's exactly where we are. So get there early. The meet is a 7:30 meet now.
Yes, yes.
And so originally it was not that time, so make sure you're there at 7:30 a little early. And there'll be princesses and Superman on the concourse. There'll be balloon twists. There'll be all kinds of great stuff. And the last thing is this, fans, students or fans. When our feet hit the ground, you explode. No different than a 3-point in basketball, okay? So I want you to scream loud, I want you to bring your shakers, and I want you to make Coleman Coliseum sound like a concert when you're in there.
Oh, it should be such an exciting meet. I can't wait. I can't wait to be there to cheer on everyone. So thank you so much for joining the Dana Duckworth Show. Roll Tide and happy Girls and Women in Sports Day.
That's right. Girls and Women in Sports Day. Thank you, Alabama One, for being a huge advocate for this and being able to give back to our world that creates greatness. So roll Tide.
Roll Tide, everyone.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,